Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Wasn't long ago, 2 years ago, when Savannah went missing and then was later found murdered.
Breaking news this evening. The North Dakota Supreme Court has thrown out the life sentence for the man convicted of kidnapping Savannah Greywind. 34-year-old William Hain pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit kidnapping and providing false information to law enforcement. A jury later acquitted him of conspiracy to commit murder. Last October, a judge sentenced Hain to life with parole. Hain appealed the sentencing to the Supreme Court, arguing the district court incorrectly labeled him as a dangerous special offender. In a ruling filed today, the High Court decided he should not have been labeled as such. That means the highest penalty he could face would be 20 years in prison. Representative Ruth Buffalo has worked very closely with the Greywind family, and she tells us this ruling is very disappointing.
It is a devastating ruling, and it tells us there's so much work to be done, not only in North Dakota, but across the region and across the entire country.
A new sentencing date has not yet been set. We reached out to members of Savannah's family, but they do not wish to speak at this time about the ruling. A Fargo man is facing multiple charges after Fargo police got a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Court documents say 36-year-old Jason Dvorak engaged in a sexual conversation with an 8-year-old girl on August 18th. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley joins us live now in the studio with more on this case. Bailey?
Melanie, court documents filed today say that messages provided by Facebook showed Jason Dvorak talking with the victim about her private parts, and Dvorak later received explicit photos from the 8-year-old girl. Now, documents go on to say that Dvorak later instructed the victim to delete all of their messages. Dvorak declined to speak with investigators. However, his wife did speak with police and told them that she was aware that Dvorak was going to try and bait the young girl into talking about her knowledge of sex. Documents say police seized multiple electronic devices as well as clothing items at Dvorak's home as potential evidence. Melanie?
Bailey, thank you. Dvorak is set to be in court again on September 9th. A Moorhead man accused of murdering a man at the McDonald's in downtown Fargo pleaded guilty today. 45-year-old Miguel Cooley is charged with murder in the shooting death of 20-year-old Gabriel Perez. Investigators say Cooley shot the victim several times before leaving the scene. He was later arrested in Minnesota. His sentencing hearing has not yet been scheduled. Meanwhile, traffic was briefly halted this afternoon in South Fargo after someone drilling hit an underground gas line. It happened around 3:30 on the 4300 block of 20th Avenue South. Traffic was delayed for about 10 minutes as crews figured out how to stop the leak. XL Energy is working to repair it now. Perfect weather for a lot of you to start off the school year with, and it sounds like it's going to stay here into our Thursday night. Hutch joins us now in your no-wait weather with a look ahead. Hutch?
Comfortably cool temperatures as we go through the afternoon. Many of us are in the 70s. There's a few areas seeing some wind as we head into the evening. Most of the windiest locations are in southeast North Dakota. Jamestown down towards Sisseton, the rest of the area quiet. Temperatures, some 60s out near Bemidji and Roseau. Elsewhere, a lot of 70s. That heat in parts of eastern Montana where Glendive is at 88. A few clouds drifting overhead. Other than that, your forecast planner for this evening shows 70s all the way through the 7 o'clock hour before we cool off into the 60s for the remainder of our early evening. We'll keep a persistent south wind, but not too strong, around 10 miles per hour or less here in the FM area. Grand Forks, likewise, will be in the 60s all the way until 10 o'clock before we cool down. Coming up, we'll have a look at the close of your work week forecast, and we'll talk about our rain chances this weekend as well.
Okay, thank you, Hutch. Moorhead police are still searching for a man who they say carjacked a vehicle using a hatchet as his weapon. It happened in downtown Moorhead just after 1 this morning. The victim says he jumped out of his car when a man approached his van and threatened him. A patrol officer spotted the abandoned vehicle about 10 minutes later in South Moorhead with the hatchet left behind. That's when officers went looking for the suspect, but they did not have much luck. He's described as a white man around 20 years old wearing blue jeans. It's also possible that he was not wearing a shirt. Police ask anyone with information on this incident to contact them. A man wearing a skull mask and goggles, who police say was watching people from his car, led officers on a high-speed chase very early this morning. 27-year-old Shane Fulleratt was arrested after police say he led them on a high-speed chase from Glendon to Hawley. Police got a call of a suspicious man sitting in a Toyota Prius wearing a mask and reportedly watching people in the area. He then fled the scene when a deputy tried to talk to him. The chase lasted until a Hawley police officer deployed stop strips. Police say he tried to run on foot for a short distance before finally being taken into custody. And another police chase last night as officers continue to look for a suspect. Police are looking for a man who led them on a chase from West Fargo to Page, North Dakota. The Cass County Sheriff says the chase started around 9 last night on Main Avenue when officers tried pulling over a motorcycle driver for speeding. They say the guy took off and got all the way to Page. That's a city 40 minutes away. Deputies set up a perimeter and sent out a code red to people in the area, asking them to report anything suspicious. Officials do not believe the public is in any danger as they search for the man involved.
You old dog, ain't seen you for so long. How you doing?
The meeting took more than 50 years, but two Vietnam veterans finally embraced today in Frazee, Minnesota. Laverne Ennert and Ted Senior served together in 1965, just as the war was beginning. The two Midwest men bonded overseas, Laverne from Frazee and Ted from Sheldon, Wisconsin. But Laverne left Vietnam 2 months before Ted did, and they did not know if either one made it out alive.
But why did it take you that many years for us to get together, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's something.
Strange, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that didn't make it.
Coming up on Valley News Live 10 at 10, we'll have an exclusive story and show you the moment as the two looked at pictures and videos taken during their time in Vietnam. Today, the community came out to support those who served under the red, white, and blue. The Fargo Moorhead West Fargo Chamber hosted the Joes for GI's event at the Air Museum. $5 could get you a sloppy Joe, chips, a cookie, and a drink. The event raises around $5,000 each year.
We just thought it was very important to show our support for all they do to keep us safe and ensure the freedoms and all the liberties that we take for granted every day.
All proceeds are going to the Honor Star program, Ending National Guard Foundation, and other local military causes. More than 97,000 people in North Dakota and Clay County don't always know where their next meal is coming from, but the fight against hunger in our area just got a little easier. Today, Choice Bank donated $100,000 and 2,300 pounds of food to the Great Plains Food Bank. The food bank says the donation will provide more than 300,000 meals for kids, seniors, and others in our community who struggle to put food on the table.
1 in 9 people in North Dakota and in Moorhead receive food products from Great Plains. So that's why we're excited to be part of this. We know the impact and we know the good that it does for all the community and its citizens.
The Great Plains Food Bank is North Dakota's only food bank, and since it began in 1983, it has given out more than 185 million pounds of food. Today is the much anticipated move-in day for MSUM. And as students pack in their new homes, don't be surprised if you run into a little traffic on your commute. Family and friends are all there trying to get their college students started on the right foot.
Every year our Welcome Week activities get bigger and better. We have a beautiful day for it today. We have perfect weather. It's really a time for students to get involved and to get connected and to find out what the year is going to hold for them.
NDSU's Move-In Day is this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Classes for students at the colleges and universities across the area begin on Monday.